Hey guys, about a week ago I put a post up on Instagram on my feed at Cosmic Lightbody 11 about fragments and what are they, how do we heal them, and I wanted to do a video to expand on that topic so I could better explain what's going on. And I'm going to bring an interesting new perspective that you probably haven't really heard before or even thought of. But comment below, let me know if this resonates with you, because it sure as heck fits in my world, and it makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. So what happens? Well, when we come to this planet, we land here and our energy disperses. Okay, we're immediately, when we're born, we're exposed to the external, and we start seeing things through in here, through our five senses. We utilize our five senses, and we're a sponge. We take in everything that's going on around us. Our subconscious mind is just recording. Happens for the first 8-9 years of life. It just records and records and records, and we're very observant, and we're taking in and taking in, and as we do that, our energy begins to disperse. What happens is we start to move away from our body, our groundedness, out into our mind. So our energy field expands a little bit. Our awareness moves out away from our core, away from our body, and we're out in the mind. We're projecting our energy into our external environment. So we kind of lose ourselves in that sense, and that's known as the veil of forgetfulness. So we get consumed with our external environment, and we start to believe, we're taught from a very young age, that everything is that we see, smell, hear, touch, taste is real, and everything beyond that is not. So it's ingrained in us, right? These are programs that we acquire, energy patterns that come down from generations, from our grandparents, their grandparents, down, our parents, down to us, and we're taught. And we're taught these things through religion, and we're taught these things through school, in education. That's what it's like to live here. So we lose ourselves. I like to say that we're splat. We splat. We land here, we're born, and our energy goes out. We're out. So we're no longer focused in. We're no longer in the body, in tune with our higher self. The energy now is focused on the external. But what happens when we splat is when these subconscious programmings and these beliefs develop, there are certain, they create fragments. So we're fragmented now. We have various, consider it like multiple versions of ourselves. We're multidimensional beings. There are numerous timelines running at the same time, and there are therefore numerous versions of us running at the same time. Now, when we awaken certain fragments of us. All of a sudden, those that are high enough vibrational open to the light, and we get this influx of frequency, this influx of energy. Essentially, it's our spirit energy comes in, and all of a sudden we become aware of it now. We're aware of the spirit energy flowing through us, okay? And this comes down, and this grounds, and then this comes back up through the chakras, and we're out of alignment most of the time because we're in our minds, because of these patterns that we've developed. We're splattered, right? And what happens is this creates a false projection all around us. But there are numerous versions of us. So all of a sudden you awaken, you have an awakening. Wow, you're awakened. Now you know the greater truth. You're starting to get in touch with your higher self. You're aligning with multidimensional energies. You're acquiring knowledge. You're grounding your energy. But we still have various fragments that exist. And these versions of us, not all of them have awakened. And not all of them are healing like the version of you that is aware of the awakening. We still have versions of us running around that are closed off. They're lower vibrational. They're lower frequency. They're carrying densities, and they're carrying traumas. So, that's how we can explain what happens. Like, 1 minute we're high vibrational, nothing seems to bother us, and then all of a sudden we're triggered, right? And the next minute, oh no, now I've got these insecurities, these fears, these anxieties come back, and you have to think to yourself, I know I do, how the heck was I just in a place where nothing bothered me and now all of a sudden everything comes back up again, right? Well, what's happening is your higher self is guiding you, okay? Because you're healing these aspects of yourself. You're aware now that you are ascending, okay? You've awakened, you're aware, you're bringing down and grounding this light, and that aspect of you, that version of you is healing, okay? And as that version heals, that version of you is able to take in more of your divine source energy, okay? And it continues to move up in vibration. But we have aspects of us that we are not giving that energy to. They don't have access to that energy. Think of parallel realities. These are various fragments of us that we're not incorporating this same energy into these areas, okay? So some versions are not ascending, okay? So what we need to do is we need to heal those versions of us. So our higher self is saying, okay, you've grounded this energy, you're healing, you're higher vibrational, you're really in a good place right now. All of a sudden, bam, you're kicked down. Get the heck down into this fragment of you that needs to be healed. This fragment is worried about work, school, whatever it may be. This one has blockages, okay? This one does not have access to the soul's energy. The soul's energy is not flowing properly through this aspect of you, okay? And these are really fragments in the body. These are blockages in the body, but they manifest themselves as different versions of you. So you come down, and your higher self's like, okay, it's time. You're high vibrational. Let's take that energy, get into that fragment of yourself now that it has anxiety about work or about school or life or whatever it may be. Get down there and take what you know now when you're high vibrational, take that energy and take that perspective down into that version of you. So a trigger happens, and essentially what we're doing is it's a reality shift, right? It's a timeline jump. We're jumping into a timeline where there's a version of us that isn't so awakened. But we're coming in with our awareness. We're like, oh, I know what's happening now. I've got all these feelings. These thoughts are coming up. But you come in with the awareness of your awakened self, so you have the ability, you have the power now to stand in your energy and become the observer of the thoughts. And what happens is when you're in that fragment of you that is not necessarily awakened, you have the ability to observe the thoughts, not identify with them, because you know better now. And essentially what that does is it raises the vibration of that fragment. You heal that fragment. And as you jump and you're triggered by these different circumstances and these different traumas for these blockages, energy blockages you have in your body, you're essentially thrust into another version of yourself. And it's all good. You know, we would think, oh no, I was so high vibrational, feeling great. What the heck happened? Now I feel like crap. I can't deal with this. How does this happen? Well, let me tell you, it happens because you have the capability at that moment to take what you know and to take that energy and that high vibrational feeling that you have, get down into that fragment and do the work and heal it. So when that happens to you and you're triggered, try to think of it from that point of view. Let's look at it from that perspective. Let's say, okay, I really feel like crap. I'm not happy now. Something's bothering me. But you know what? Hey, now I know why I was jumped into this version of me, into this fragment of me, because this version needs to be healed. That's what integration is. We want to take all these versions of us and heal them so that we could bring them into the whole and ascend. Okay? Because otherwise what we're doing is we're like a hot air balloon. If you could picture a hot air balloon where we've got, let's say 5 ropes tethering the balloon, and you release 2 or 3 of the ropes and the balloon starts to pull and starts to try to go up, but there's a couple of ropes anchoring them down to the earth, that balloon is not going to be able to ascend. So what we do is we want to go down and we want to work and raise and essentially disconnect those ropes so that we can even out and integrate everything into that so that the balloon could rise in unison, okay? So if we look at it from that perspective, it's these low fragments, these low vibrational fragments of you that are weighing you down, and you're being called by your soul, by your higher self, to get down in those fragments when you're feeling good. You'll be triggered, and you've got space created, you're triggered, something comes up to be healed. You were called down. You were sent down by your higher self to get into there and do the work with presence and do the work with the awareness. Take that energy, take your breathing techniques, your channel breathing, your grounding techniques, anchoring, get down, get into body, and when you're in that fragment, you want to do the channel breathing and isolate the blockages and work on getting the energy restored from that perspective. And what that does is that heals that fragment. And that fragment then integrates. Okay, you're releasing whatever the emotions were, the traumas that fragment was carrying with it. You're integrating it into the whole. And that's a process that keeps happening. That's what we call healing. And if you look at it from that perspective, the next time you're triggered, think of it as that, all right, I was in a great place now, and my soul sent me down here. I was triggered. I'm down here to do the work. Okay, it said, get down there and do the work, do the healing. You know what to do now. Go do it. And you do the work, look at it from that perspective. That'll help you to not identify with the emotions that are triggered, that you're feeling, but that'll get you centered to ground that energy and do your channel breathing when you're residing in that trauma, in that fragment. Do the work, heal it, integrate it into the whole, and as that process repeats, you're going to notice that it's going to get easier and easier to do it because you're going to notice the healing. You're going to get down. Something's going to trigger you, but it's going to trigger you less next time, and you're going to say, all right, I'm back here again. We still have some work to do, so we're going to do some more work, but it's going to be a lot easier. So that's how we integrate. That way, there's nothing weighing us down, and we could take our energy that was splattered when we were born and when we were children, and bring it back together, integrate these versions of us, these parallel versions of us, get it all in together, and rise as one. And that's the goal, and that's what we want to do. So thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and a comment below. Also, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell so that you're notified as soon as I post new videos. Also, jump on over to Instagram and follow me at Cosmic Light Body 11 and check out my podcast, Cosmic Light Body. Thanks again for stopping by.